Hey, it's Daryl at 10-Foot Truck, Good Attitudes Services. I'm not in my truck. I'm in my office today. Just got back from a big Craigslist buyout, helping a customer get all their stuff they bought at Craigslist sale into their house. And it was quite a bit of stuff. I mean, packed my truck fully packed. My truck's not that big of a box truck. It's only like a small U-Haul box truck. So it was like 2 sofas, 2 beds, bed frames, dining room table, chairs, entertainment center, bookcase, something, and a few other things. So we had to pack that, plus it was a pickup truck. They put the rest of it, like some other chairs and stuff. And went to Idaho, it's a really good market now. Is that in North Idaho, a lot of people are moving there from all kinds of places. So it's a good market to get in, which I'm over in Eastern Washington, just across the border. So I'm trying to market over there, and I've been putting ads in that area. I finally got a call. I've had a couple calls over there, so I like going over there because there's a lot of movement, a lot of people going there, a lot of people moving into houses there. And just like them, I've noticed a trend. When people move now and buy a house in a new area, they tend to just sell all their stuff, on most of it, not like their important things and things that they memorabilia type stuff, and of course the clothes and things like that. But they tend to sell like off a lot of their furniture, most of it, on Craigslist or OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace, and then they just go to their next place without having to have a giant truck, and they can just drive their car or fly or whatever. And then when they get to their new place, they immediately go onto Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and they buy up a whole house full of furniture. In fact, there was another lady I helped move, and she said I helped her twice picking up stuff at Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. And I think she spent only $1,000 to furnish her whole 2-bedroom apartment. And I'm not sure how much those other people pay, but they don't really spend a lot. I mean, you're talking about getting beds, the dining room tables, couches, bookcases, the entertainment, everything you need for your rooms, end tables, and all that. And everything that a house needs, you can buy on fairly nice stuff too. All the stuff was nice. Nothing that had scratches or nothing. It was all perfect condition. Couches were nice. There's very nice stuff being sold, because what it is a lot of people they're selling their houses, and they're doing the same thing before they leave the area. They're putting all their stuff up on Marketplace, Craigslist, and so you have a plethora of furniture and things like that for sale for really good prices. In fact, they have OfferUp, Craigslist. I think there's another one, I can't remember the name of it. Facebook Marketplace is a big one. So I'm kind of picking up, because some people picking up the business on that by people who don't want to rent a truck, spend a lot of money on U-Haul. In fact, that's kind of how I put my ads together. Is that why rent a truck at U-Haul? Have to go down there, fill out the paperwork, drop your car, pick that up, drive it, pay mileage, pay gas, pay insurance, all these other things that add up, and then have to drive back and drop it off and get your car again, and a lot of pain. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of hassle, and then even if you do get an insurance, you're still gonna have to pay a deductible if something goes wrong, and they're gonna charge you for whatever, like scratch the truck or whatever it is. You're gonna have to pay that deductible, I think, through their insurance, and if not, they're probably gonna charge you for the time that the truck is in the shop getting fixed. Where me, I'm fully responsible for my truck. I don't have any insurance. I'm the one that's insured. I'm driving to the location to pick up the stuff. I'm just like a rental truck with a guy in the truck, and I charge you a fairly decent price. I'm not charging excessive prices for mileage. I'm not charging all these taxes and stuff. So I think I've served good in that community, and I've done well with that. And now I'm in a new community, and I'm trying to market into these new areas, like I said, northern Idaho, which there's a lot of people moving there from all over the country, and they're doing the same thing. So the people are really taking advantage and getting really good deals on Facebook Marketplace and all that. And just like a lot of junk removal guys, they get good stuff on the junk removal, and they put it up on Facebook, on Marketplace, and they put it up on Craigslist as well. And I've done the same thing. So I was happy about that because I still do want to do those deliveries and market that kind of stuff. And if someone wants to remove stuff and do junk removal, that's fine too. But ultimately, I think I'm going to have to get a junk trailer for that, or another vehicle that I could trash up, because junk removal can kind of tear up your truck. And I do want to keep my delivery truck looking pretty good, because people aren't going to want to have their furniture moved in something that looks like trash. So anyway, that was good. That was a good opportunity. And then I got a call from a app company that's looking for these contracts they're going to do with stores, removing some of their merchandise. So I'm looking into that too, because some of the merchandise I will be able to sell. I just have to look at it, see how much I'm going to have to load up when their old merchandise they're going to be getting rid of, and then so I have to figure out how much I'm going to charge them, since probably most of it's going to be able to be resold on the market, and probably won't even have to go to I don't think I'll even have to go to the dump, so I don't have to factor in the dump cost on that. So I'm looking into that. That's another thing. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I want to talk about mainly today was the new trend, or maybe it's not a new trend, maybe it's an old trend, but people who are like, when they move, they just try to sell everything, as opposed to in the old days, back when I used to work for moving companies, like when I worked for Mayflower, and I worked for but way back I worked for starving students. But the main one I did, I worked for Mayflower, driving a tractor trailer. Back in those days, that was in the early 90s. The trend back then was just, so people, when they moved, they just took everything. I mean, their whole house. I mean, we'd load every item, everything, packed wardrobes for the clothes, wrapped every little item that there was in their house. They emptied their house out. They never sold stuff. And that's probably the reason why it's changed, is because back then, in order to sell items before you moved, you would have to have a garage sale or a estate sale, something like that, which takes a lot of marketing and takes certain times of the, it's really much more time consuming than just posting something up on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. And even then, I've come across people who were moving, and they were like, we're selling it all on Craigslist. And they were having kind of a hard time getting all the stuff sold before the moving date, because you kind of start way ahead just to make sure you get it out. And sometimes you don't want to sell everything before you move, and you want to have your bed and all that. And so sometimes they would just call me and, can you just take all this stuff, because we're moving, we couldn't sell the stuff, do you want it? And there are a few times where I got a whole bedroom, furniture, living room couches and all that for free. They were in really good condition. I turned around and sold them. So that's also an opportunity, is for, you get the excessive, or you get the leftover stuff that people couldn't sell before they moved. But I think that's kind of going to be more and more of a trend in people that are moving. And there's a lot of moving going on right now. People are moving all over. California is like, I was reading an article where I think this is the first time in history in like 100 years, or maybe over 100 years, probably 100 years, where they're actually going, they're going negative. They're not growing. They've been growing for that long, and now it's going the other way. People are actually leaving, and they're becoming negative. I mean, the population is going the opposite direction. They're losing people. And of course, the big states where people are moving to, seems to me like people are moving out of California, and they're moving out of New York City, and they're moving out of Chicago. And places that they're moving to, they're getting away from the big cities, and they're moving to medium-sized cities, like where I live, which is a medium-sized city. They're moving to Idaho, which is their medium-sized cities. And then they're moving to a bunch of places in Texas and in Arizona, and sometimes in Nevada. Of course, they'll sometimes move to Las Vegas. And what's the other state? I think it's Idaho, Arizona, Texas, Nevada. Oh, Florida. They're moving out to Florida. But Florida's getting really impacted with population. But now those states are getting very expensive, so it might be like kind of like a pushback. If people move there, then it gets expensive, then some of those people move out, and that's what I'm seeing around here. All these people moved out to this area from Seattle, from California. They moved here because it was a smaller area and much more reasonable. But then it starts to get expensive, and then some of the locals move out because they're trying to go somewhere else. So you're getting a lot of movement going on right now in all directions, which is a great opportunity if you have a truck, because that's who they're looking for. Like U-Haul's making a bunch of money on it, moving companies, and so should you. And then of course, if you're doing junk removal, which is an additional service, that's also added. Then when people are moving or people moving out and in and out, they need to reduce the amount of stuff if they're say they're scaling down to an apartment or whatever. There's going to be a lot of junk removal in that kind of market. And then of course, we might be hitting a housing bubble, and if that happens, that's another situation. If it's like 2008, there was tons of junk removal because all the people that were foreclosing on their houses. So that's about it. Can't think of anything else for today. Good Attitude Services, 10-foot truck on the move. Have a good one. I'll talk to you tomorrow.